As long as I know ahead of time, I will make sure that I can show up.
Yeah, I try and make sure that I keep people updated.
Yeah, and hopefully we won't have to be like putting it off for like a month and month after that.
Just add me on Discord just in case I don't post.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we'll keep everyone updated on there.
Please do.
All right.
Excellent. Well, thank you all for playing, hanging out, dealing with Yonzer and I, being it our first time and all.
Yeah.
No, thank you very much. You guys did very well so far. The storm challenge definitely took longer than anticipated.
I want my stuff. We set up all this gear and stuff. I'm not leaving it behind, man.
I got stubby legs.
No, that's totally fine. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't read this module until 3 p.m. today.
Oh.
Awesome.
I had never read it before. So I was reading through it and I immediately saw it. It's like, oh, by the way, there's gonna be a chance that like you're gonna take away all your players' gear. And I'm like, that is the biggest dick move of all,
it is, right?
time. Jesus.
Hey, that's almost better than dying at the very beginning.
Yeah.
That is true.
I thought that's what you were planning to.
I do at least
Like
want to
Cthulhu
say,
was gonna come out of the sky and annihilate all of us.
I do at least want to say, because I'm not as experienced probably than as Shark and King, but even I will say that so far both you, Yonzer, and Brad have been doing well.
Excellent.
You guys have been doing great. You already defeated the hardest challenge in all of D&D, Door.
Doors.
Doors?
Excuse you, Professor Layton is what I majored in.
I will also say that if anyone had drowned or gone unconscious because of the storm, there was a contingency for that. You are automatically summoned inside the cave. You're just a spectre.
That'd be funny.
So you're a ghost.
I definitely would have been happy with that. She has experience being a ghost.
I was a ghost for a one-shot. I was a ghost druid, and if I ever became corporeal, I only had 1 hit point, so I had to stay a ghost because I feared dying again.
Oh yes, you were Ninkata.
So the thing that I wanted to mention for one of the past characters I did that would have worked wonders for Paul, I was a flower character, and I tried to preserve beauty as much as I can.
Excellent. So you would get along well with Sir Poe.
Yeah, that's why as soon as he started talking about his hair, I just lost it because I thought of that character.
I quite like Poe. I tried to make sure I was a character who I can have a lot of fun with, but I won't be taking the lead at any point.
Yeah.
No,
my stat rolls were all completely random, and I just assigned the lowest one to intelligence.
No, I'm very happy with how you're playing your character.
It's incredible.
I'm very much enjoying that.
No, that's definitely one of like the really nice things about one-shots is because with one-shots you don't have to worry as much about some team dynamic stuff, because it's like, oh, I don't have to make a character that's going to get along with everyone for the next 40 or so sections. It's like, we're meeting up once or twice at most, so I can be as edgy or weird or crazy as as I want. Like, no one can stop me.
And I at least decided to replay as a monk just so it's easy for me, since Brad and Yonzer are getting used to it.
Yeah. It's weird for me to, part of me, like, I really love role-playing things, you know, but whenever I'm in person, I get awkward about it, because I'm like, this is weird, I don't know what to do, people think I'm weird, I don't know what I'm saying.
Well, at least you're surrounded by us who actually do like
And that is also like one of the things about playing in-person D&D is like, people, you're making weird faces, you're acting stuff out, you're in like silly costumes.
Silly costumes. Everyone wears silly costumes.
Some people do. Some people will like, they'll dress up for the bit and such, and it's fun. It's like engaging, and like it can be really awkward at first, especially with new groups because it's strangers. But at the end of the day, you're all a bunch of nerds sitting around a table rolling dice and playing like pretend.
Yeah,
I like playing pretend.
Well, that's like when I texted my best friend earlier, going like,
on my
well,
desk.
I'm gonna go out to get a couple things for like later tonight and for work this week, and then as soon as I get home, it's gonna be nerd time.
Nerd time.
That's what it is. And then she's like, yeah, nerd time. And she's not even a nerd. She's not.
If you want to talk about playing games with people you don't know, I was literally playing a character who would flirt with everyone, and in the back of my head I'm like, I don't know these people, I don't know.
Oh
Well,
dear.
that's the fun part. If you can get into your character to that extent, then you're clearly having fun.
I like Poe.
I like Poe as well.
Poe's incredible.
I haven't given him a flower yet. I was gonna give him a flower that means forsaken.
Well, that's like when Poe came up to me and asked about my hair, and then like there was a small flirt thing, and I was like, I didn't expect this. I'm not too familiar with your king.
It just
go with it.
three
So the
three
way
bi
I'm
characters and then like possibly an asexual character.
Poe just he's completely innocent when he does it. He is I had to have all of you as in his mind, you're all beautiful, because then he would want to protect you. So and he just his religion is beauty, so it's not just a flirt, it's kind of he worships you as well.
It'd be funny, like just yes, you two are beautiful, except for you, Alton. Alton just stares into the cave like,
That's exactly why when Poe said that to Alton, I was going to bug Alton to no end about it. But then all his gods are showing like, fucking magic noise.
Yeah, Rio, we're probably gonna end the stream shortly here, so when you do get grab food, we'll probably be gone. But appreciate you hanging out.
yeah, this is fun, guys.
How did you find streaming it? It's awkward streaming it because you can't really interact with chat. I do it every couple of weeks. I DM.
Yeah.
And it's awful, particularly so you. Like Brad, you as a player can probably react a little more because there's times the DM isn't talking to you.
Right.
But when you DM on your own channel, and I absolutely take that if you really want to get into Dungeons & Dragons, buy a DM manual. You could even just DM with one shot. It's a lot of fun.
I actually would have grabbed my book, but like I told Shark, I don't know where it is. Just like all my dice.
I got the Monster Manual DM guide and the Player's Handbook.
Yeah, we got like a starter set thing.
Actually, I did want to say, Janza, because I know at one point you're gonna make your own campaign and all. Because obviously, I know you well enough, and I know how your mind is when it comes to creating stories and all.
Oh yeah, I have like homebrew races in a different thing.
I would like to mention the day where you mentioned that you're gonna start your own campaign. I would actually like to be a part of it.
Oh boy.
I know I'm not gonna judge anything. I'm gonna keep those to myself.
Oh, you know what? It's all on my old phone. I had custom races for like a D&D thing where the Dragonborns, instead of being like dragon people, it was more so instead of being like cold-blooded or anything like that, they were like warm-blooded creatures and they had feathers and stuff like that or something.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. They have like different ages where they're like going through pubescence, so their features are different.
That's the thing about DMing, you can just go all out, like how Nick was.
Oh yeah.
That's why for me personally, I'll just stick with playing. I don't have the mindset to create a campaign at all. I prefer playing.
I can't do political stuff in a campaign. It's hard. I'm not a government person.
You may have to do that from time to time, depending on where the story is.
I have a whole fucking world for my main campaign that I DM for. Like I have giant map countries, relations between the various races involved in those countries, religious conflicts, political conflicts, military.
I made a whole map for a story I was going to write.
I remember that. I remember seeing that.
Yeah, I put it in Minecraft. I made it in World Edit.
But no, it's DMing is definitely one of those things of like you have to give your undivided attention. Like my phone kept on like buzzing and stuff, and I'm like, I can't pay attention to it. I have to just focus on this. And also like your throat and mouth get so fucking dry. I don't know how Matt Mercer can go the entire game without
taking a sip of water.
Well, again, he's a voice actor, so he's used to that kind of
Yeah, it is one of those.
3 hours straight of live play.
So what he most likely does is what I would do if I'm acting for 3-4 hours, or I do it when I stream, even though I can't just sit. But there's tonics that you can mix honey in and have stuff like that. If you can keep your vocal cords moist, they don't dry up.
Make some tea with honey in it. Oh, so
yeah.
Yeah, so
my biggest problem is the only time I drink tea is when I am so sick literally nothing else works. I hate it so much. I hate coffee too.
See, that's why you have to, when you think you're ready for your own campaign to be your own DM, you have to make sure that you're ready for it.
Shark's gonna have to teach me.
Because like DMing a game could last like forever, or no matter how long. You don't know.
Bird, you're British. Your opinion on tea doesn't matter.
Your opinion on tea doesn't matter. My sister-in-law's brothers and her cousins, they get together for D&D stuff. Like, they have 3 different campaigns they run within a week. And I'm like, first off, how?
King, you are no better. Yelling at him while he's awake.
That's determination.
Oh, I know. Think about it. 3 different campaigns, probably different characters, probably different stories.
And just think of all the notes that the DM has to keep.
Right.
Oh, you meant to keep notes.
Yeah. That's what I was writing stuff down.
The game I'm currently DMing, so basically I got into D&D 4 years ago. Played one game, went, oh, this is cool. Then DM'd a quick campaign, like a 2-month campaign. Went, oh, I really like D&D. Read loads of stuff on it, and went, but it'd be cool if I made my own. So I made a homebrew, and I've spent the past 3 years making the homebrew.
I know. It takes ages to make a homebrew.
Yeah, it's zombies and dragons, and it's nothing like it. There's no D&D lore. The gameplay mechanics kind of mix a lot of different games, and a lot of unique ones.
I was trying to make my own Dungeons and Dragons game where Aura was the magic system, which is really hard to do because it's like, well, Aura replenishes itself all the time, and you never kind of run out of it unless you're using a mass amount all at once. So it just made it really difficult on how the magic would work and how spells would work and stuff.
There's someone that I used to hang out with that actually created his own Dungeons and Dragons game, which I know I talked to Yonzo a lot about it.
Oh yeah, where it's called.
Yeah, it was called Utopia, and it was just like really fun to play. And then like at one point I did have my own thing on. I should try to make one involving Yu-Gi-Oh. No, I'm not gonna love yourself.
Right.
Just play Yu-Gi-Oh. There you go.
Yeah.
No, it's D&D is amazing. Like a part of also why like I agreed to do this one shot and stuff is my first experience with D&D, aside from watching actual playthings of it, was trying to DM and just like jumping into the deep end and not knowing like, okay, this is how CR balancing works. Okay, this is how like interacting with characters, setting up things, like, trying to move the story forward without railroading and that kind of stuff. Like trying to figure all of that out when I've never been a player and never been on the flip side was so difficult that it ended terribly. In fact, like the people that I played with, I'm only still like actually friends with one of them, because shit happened outside the D&D thing. But
wait, hang on, I can't hear you yet.
Well, if you go straight to DMing without like playing, of course it's going to be like.
Say again.
My first ever experience with like playing D&D was as a DM, and it was disastrous. It was terrible.
That's me with Brad.
Well.
I tried to DM for Brad. It was funny.
DMing with only one person is also very different.
Yeah.
But no, so like trying to learn like, okay, this is how you CR balance encounters and monsters and that kind of stuff. And we're trying to figure all of that out when I didn't know anything yet, and I'd only ever seen other people playing, and stuff was so difficult for me that it's like it's good to have at least a little bit of experience on the other side of the table as a player, because then you have an idea of like when you know of multiple DMs, like you've played for multiple DMs, you see their different DMing styles, or like you've watched multiple different DMs from actual play shows, like not another D&D podcast, Dungeons and Daddies.
Dungeons and Daddies.
What?
No!
It's a bunch of it's not safe for work. It's a bunch of gay men. It's supposedly hilarious, but it's also apparently really
Is
raunchy.
that what in Dream Daddy, is that what they play instead of Dungeons and Dragons?
No, it's a podcast. It is a real podcast.
It's a real podcast.
Incredible.
Well, I mean, my the game I currently DM for, my party called me Daddy, which was an in joke, but now it's just grown to something that's
Beyond
bizarre.
control.
Yeah.
Are you saying that you want us to call you Daddy at this point?
No.
No.
But no, like watching actual play shows, you see like the different way that how like or like Adventure Zone and stuff, and like how different DMs style and such, and like how they work. But like there are some that focus more on the story and roleplay aspect. There are others that focus more on combat, making challenging combat versus making fun combat, because those are different things. And trying to like work with all of that, and then also like, making something that's your own is so confusing. And I'm very, very grateful that the 3 guys that I play with are all people who have been DMs before. So
See,
it's very different, because a lot of the shit that people complain about for players, they don't do because they've had shitty players.
yeah, I am like, if anyone likes the rules of D&D, they hate me as a DM because I am so like you talked about CR balancing. What I do is live react. So if the team are struggling, I might just knock 5 HP off the enemy, the total. They don't need to know. If the team are doing really well, I might be like, well, this boss is just gonna have his HP increased a little bit. And like as a game point of view, that's absolute bullshit. But I try and make it as, yeah, but I try and make it as fun and engaging for the players, because I'm always a storyteller, so I want everyone to be knowing that there's danger, like in the battles or something, but I also want them to have fun and want to progress the story above all else. And you tend to have to read. So some of my players, I've played with ones who love the battles, so I'll tend to give them meaty battles. My team at the moment aren't that big at the battles. They love to talk about the communication sections. So I give them more credence than I do the battles.
And that's the important thing. As a DM, if your players are actually having fun in one way or another, that's what's important.
You okay?
Water.
Who's dying?
Yonzer,
no.
hydrate.
I've been hydrating. I drank a whole 52-ounce bottle.
Do I need to water you?
I do have to
Absent chat for hydrate part.
I do want to mention that I do have to head off in this case.
Yeah. Have a good rest of your night.
Yeah, because I do have a couple things to do.
I should probably go.
Yep.
Yeah. Which for all
Have a
y'all.
good rest of your night, y'all.
Go to
Goodbye,
bed,
everyone.
all
Thanks
of
for
you.
playing.
Bed.
Well, no, I'm not going to be going to bed.
Bed.
Johnson, look at what time it is. You
Bed.
know how I am. I'm going to go to bed at my normal time of like 5:30 in the morning.
5:30.
Jesus.
I'm at
Literally
night.
Danny though.
Yeah. Thank you guys very, very much. I had a very
Thank
fun
you.
time playing this
Same.
module. And if I wasn't so already like confused trying to figure out my one campaign, I'd love to run a campaign for you lovely people, but that is too much for me as a human being.
Oh yeah, I'm sure we'll do it one day. I mean, understandable if not
Well,
now.
we can always do
Oh
something.
yeah.
I know my time zone's a bugger for you all, but for Z&D game, I'm close to releasing it I'm close to finalizing the rules of the game and releasing it because it's basically moved away from being a homebrew. I stream it a lot. I'm gonna start opening guest slots, so allowing a player to step in. And
Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun.
I would actually. If
I might post some of my homebrew ideas in the D&D chat on Discord.
Go
Just
for
to,
it.
you know, publicize it kind of thing and be like, here, use this if you wanna for like a custom character or something.
I'll let you know when I finish my the last thing I have to do is actually write a player's guide and a DM guide.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm saying the American Z as well because it's set in America.
Or you could just use that for some of us.
Yeah, well, because you have to remember it's 3 Americans and a Canadian.
And the Canadian.
Ah, cool. That's worth knowing. I can make my US
I'm actually ragdoll.
jumps.
You're an American.
You're an American. You're a ragdoll that lives in America.
I have my own language. It's not done yet, but I have my own language. Okay.
That's not surprising.
Fine, let's put it this way: metric or imperial.
Probably metric. That's easier.
I know, but that's one of the things that always winds me up. Like, I do have some American friends who insist that Imperial's easier and makes
It's
more
not.
sense. And I'm like, you have to see that. Like, there's a lot of stuff I will concede on with the whole Americans versus. That's not one of them.
I'm used to Imperial. That's the feet, inches, you know, all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
And so like when I'm getting used to metric, I usually have to I have to translate it in my head first. So if you said like, oh, this is a meter long, I'm like, well, a meter's about 3 feet. Okay, that makes sense. So I have to like translate it into my head first. So I like pause for a minute and go, wait, how many feet is 100 meters? I don't know. It's about 30 feet, right?
I'm already bad at distance and shit, but I want to go into zoology, and I want to study Myceliae, which I mentioned earlier is the badger that's family, so it's technically the weasel family. But it's weasels, stoats, badgers, otters, red pandas, and raccoons sometimes. Because zoology. Red pandas are also in 3 other families, depending on different sexology. But when you do science shit, you have to know metric, because that's what most of it's in, because that's what most of the world knows. So like, I know eventually I have to teach myself it, but I don't want to.
Burp posted a great meme related to this.
Okay.
To remember how many feet there are in a mile, you just gotta use 5 tomatoes. 5 tomatoes sounds like 5280, and there's 5,280 feet in a mile. And the comment replying to that, to remember how many meters there are in a kilometer, you just have to remember 1,000, because the system of measurement in the rest of the world wasn't invented by a drunk mathematician rolling dice.
That is correct.
Awesome.
It definitely makes more sense. It's like, oh, 0 Celsius outside. Okay, it's fucking cold. Water will freeze.
Right.
I thought Fahrenheit.
-50.
I thought Fahrenheit was more operated not on the water temperature, but more so on body temperature.
Yeah, which is why our 0 degrees is significantly cold.
Yeah, because it's like, oh, you're gonna die if you go out there. Whereas 0 degrees in Celsius is
No,
like,
you won't.
you won't
So,
die.
I'm gonna head off because I also need to use the bathroom at this point.
Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead.
I just want to mention to Janssen and Brad, there's a thing that I wrote to both of you on getting a game for the Switch with us online.
Yeah.
I'll let you know what the game is once I load it up to see if there is.
Okay.
Excellent.
Alright, Janssen might be more excited about what it is.
Alright.
Alright, so I'll talk to you guys later.
Go. See you,
Bye-bye.
Vega.
Have a good night.
See ya.
Have a good night, y'all.
Bye, everyone.
I need sleep.
Yeah, I'm
Thanks,
gonna go
guys.
as well. I was gonna say thank you. Well, if he's in the stream, thank you, Shark, for the DMing. It was nice.
It's nice.
Thanks for joining again, King.
No worries.
Bye, guys.
Well done on not freaking massively out. I know the raid was a bit bigger than I was expecting.
Yeah, I was. It took me off guard a little bit, but appreciate
But
it.
it was good fun. I enjoyed that. I'm glad you guys had fun.
Absolutely.
Again.
Right.
Alright, I'm gonna go get my beauty sleep.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
go.
Oh.
Yeah.
See ya.
Nighty night.
Yeah, have a nice night, guys.
You too.
Peace out, and thanks for inviting me again. It was good fun.
Yeah.
Of course.
Ciao, ciao. See you.
How do I get out of here? How
And
do
with
I get
that,
out of here?
obviously the stream's gonna come to a close.
How do I leave?
Yes, Burb, go sleep. Everyone is going to sleep now. Thank you all for hanging out. Thank you to everyone new who has followed, and who may still be lurking around.
Oh, I figured it out.
And on that bombshell, go on.
I never remember how to leave the voice chats in Discord. I never remember how.
Oh, that was a 5-hour stream for us.
Oh yeah.
Those
It's
are rookie
still going?
numbers.
Those are rookie numbers?
Let me pull up an ending song here.
We'll just sing.
Farewell, so long.
Alvito, say
Go
goodbye.
the fuck to sleep.
Good night, Demon Slayer. Good night.
5 hours if you're not used to it is huge.
It's fine.
Yeah, typically I average about 3 hours. 2 to 3 hours.
It's easier, like, a 5-hour stream is nothing compared to, like, a 5-hour visit from somebody that you weren't expecting.
24 hours when? Eventually, Burb, we're
Eventually.
getting there.
24-hour D&D stream.
After I buy a webcam, so that we can have a cat cam.
Yeah. I was gonna try to use my camera for it, but I don't know if I can.
Here we go, this will work.
Oh, we gotta go get some milk and have Oreos
And pizza.
And I gotta move everything back to where it was because our setup
I'm
is a
going
little
for like
confusing.
10 hours. King, you're a mad lad.
You're a mad lad. I know, when you came into the stream, part of me was like, oh, right. You and your viewers sat through, like, an already 5-hour stream.
Uh-huh. That's what I wanted.
Oh, I gotta stretch.
So again, thank you all for hanging out. And good night.
Good night.